So it's that time of year where we went to, I think, our first convention that always happens. This is the first one, right?
Yep.
Each year.
Starts it off.
Mm-hmm.
This is LexiCon 2019. Matt was in Florida, which he probably enjoyed more because, the beach.
Yeah. It was nice.
That's fair. So we went. George, this is your first time going, I believe.
First time.
Yep. Actually, have you went to a lot of gaming conventions?
I have been to quite a few of them, but most of them are the same ones, Origins over and over, and Gen Con over and over.
That's fair. Okay.
So this is your first smaller convention then?
Well, no, I also went to a very small one in Dayton, Ohio that I can't even remember the name of.
Oh, okay.
And I went to, last year I went to the first annual Deaf Board Game Convention in Austin, Texas. The second,
awesome.
The second
Did
one.
you say Deaf board game?
Deaf.
Oh.
Yeah. Deaf as in
Not deaf
unable
metal.
to hear.
That makes more sense coming from him. I'm always thinking like
Yeah.
Kingdom Death Monster, I guess.
The second one is going to be held this year, also in Austin. It's going to be in June, just before Origins, as a matter of fact.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I've already got my ticket.
Nice. Awesome. Nice. So we're just going to talk about it for like we always do, what we did, what we played. They have a play to win section, which trumps pretty much all of the library that's there. And not that they have a bad library, actually. It's just play to wins are pretty awesome.
The library is pretty nice.
Very nice.
Yeah. Play to wins is probably one of the best designed things to include at a convention. It is such a good idea.
I think it's pretty predominant now. It's not going to be at the bigger conventions, Origins, Gen Con, but any of the smaller conventions.
I don't know why. They have a library that a lot of people go to. It would make sense to have a play to win section.
Right. They have plenty of publishers at those conventions.
Oh,
too.
yeah. And they don't even have to ship it to these people. They just bring it with them and put them in the library.
That's true.
That's such a great idea.
They're almost practically giving things away on the last day of conventions anyway.
Right, exactly. So it's a brilliant idea. I think they should adopt this into Origins and Gen Con.
I think the reason is it's a thing to bring a lot of people in, and maybe such as Gen Con, they don't need to do anything else to entice people to.
Well, not now because it's sold out every year.
Right.
So I mean, I get that, but still, the idea is that somebody gets a game they weren't really wanting to play. Now there's an incentive to play it, and they stick up the sign that says "looking for players."
Right. Not even
3 other
not
people
wanting
come
to play,
over.
but hey, I heard about this game, or there's an inkling of wanting to play this game.
Yeah.
But since it's a play to win, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, for instance, I wouldn't have probably played Chaos and Alchemy, but it was on the play to win, and I was like, let's try it out.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate. But like
sometimes
which game was that?
Chaos and Alchemy. We'll get to it in a minute.
Yeah. Sometimes you get games that's there's reasons why it is play to win.
Right. But what's also interesting about it is that very, very small publishers can put one game and have a lot of exposure from it.
Exactly.
Depending on the convention, but I mean, I think getting about 75 people to play your game that probably were never going to play your game is decent as long as 1 or 2 buy it.
I think a more positive example would be Haven by Alf Siegert.
That's fair.
That was a game that we had a very good experience with.
Yeah, I don't think I would ever play that game because it's 2-player only. Not that I would stay away from it, but like
it just wouldn't come up.
There's no reason for us to buy 2-player games usually, like unless the game supports 3 or 4 more or whatever. Well, anyway, so we played a bunch of games. We're just gonna hop through a bunch of them, and then I'll let George and Eric talk a little bit more after this because I only went on Friday. They went all 3 days. So at least on Friday, this is what went on until Eric got sucked into the Diamonds tournament.
Yep.
But anyway, so we played Pirate Tricks, which is a trick-taking game.
Mm-hmm. If you like trick-taking games, this one would be up there. If it kind of changes it around every round.
Yep.
Changes it around every round.
Yeah, basically the scoring method changes every round.
Right.
Yep.
So it's like playing all kinds of different ones in one game.
Yeah, it's like at the end, whoever gets the most tricks gets points, or whoever gets the most blue cards gets points. So it's pretty neat. I like
the rules.
Does it still feel like you have control enough to make that happen?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because the game's basically playing it from start every single time.
Yeah, you're shuffling up the cards, giving out cards, and yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
We played Wingspan, which you didn't play it with us, but you played it throughout
Afterwards,
the weekend.
Right.
I did. I managed to play that one. Yeah.
Yeah, Matt, have you seen anything about this? This is legit the new hotness. Actually,
No,
I'm gonna.
This is probably like number one hotness.
Is it? Let's see.
Probably.
Let's see where it's at. I'm
It
hitting
is.
refresh on Board Game Geek right now at
It is.
11:12 p.m. Eastern on Thursday.
Rightfully so. New hotness.
I will say one thing, George.
5.
It was
It's number 5
Okay.
on the hotness meter.
Too low.
So
Too low.
yeah. So one of the things that you said you don't like is actually in Wingspan, to some extent, because one of the actions is to get eggs.
Oh, this
Each
is the egg game.
Right.
Yes.
Oh,
The bird
yeah,
game.
we saw this. Okay.
To get eggs, which gives you VP.
Nikki
and that's
was
what I
upset that you
I
all
can't
did
agree
not
with you.
label on the Instagram what the name of this game was.
I didn't.
No.
Oh well. Okay. The post right before it, I did.
Okay, because she was like, I don't know what game it is, and it looks really cute. It's got eggs and birds.
Yeah.
And she was like, but they didn't write what the game is.
My bad. Yeah. So I posted pictures of the game, and then the next picture I was like, Eric is paying homage to Easter or something like
Yes,
that.
that's the one we saw. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The one right before it is all the pictures of Wingspan.
Gotcha.
I have
Okay.
to disagree with Eric real quick though.
Okay.
Yes, you have an action to get eggs, but eggs are a currency. You can use eggs to do things in the game. They're not simply victory points.
He makes a
That's
good
true.
point. Yeah.
And actually, you're also limited on how many you can put out.
Does this
Because
dice
you have to
tower
put
come
out
with it?
birds.
It does.
It does.
The bird coop looking thing?
It's
Yeah.
annoying, but yes.
It's okay.
Which one? Let me see.
It's gorgeous.
It's cool looking. It's unnecessary, and I think it's slightly too small. But,
Yeah.
It actually
all right.
looks like it's made of wood and has moss on it.
yeah,
I mean, in a way that's almost realistic. It's fantastic.
it looks good. Yeah.
And it has a good tray. to Put up
Yeah.
everything.
I would have wished that either it had like the little tray thing that's Shogun and stuff like that has,
Mhm.
or they just made it to where the front end like folds out so the dice would come rolling off. I don't know. I just feel like they
You
just.
could modify it.
I guess they tumble enough. It's not like they need to roll for 15
They do
minutes.
roll. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
I mean, you can shake them up in your hand before you throw them in there.
Yeah, that's true. And then when they go through it, they tumble.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
It's fine.
yeah, so it's that game. It's very simply designed. I mean, you have 4 actions that you do, and as you do stuff, it makes the other actions better. So
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty cool. I do like the idea that you have so many action points on each round, and then each round you lose an action point. So the game starts off feeling long, but there's like boom, 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 done.
But you do more each time as you go
Yeah.
on as well. So it's very well done. It's a very pleasant experience.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't know if I'd play this game a million times or anything though, because I do like it's a tableau building.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Engine
Engine.
building.
It's
right.
engine building, yeah, but I don't. It didn't seem like there was that much. Like if you play the game again, I would get the same feeling. Do you think so?
I think so in a good way.
Yeah,
in a good
depending on, you can change up your strategies, but I guess depending on the birds are out, you can kind of do similar strategies every time.
Right.
As
And
you
if-
learn what the birds are, you can sort of
Change it up.
angle for different combinations that you know about. I think that'll make it a better game as you go along.
That's true. That would be a lot of thought process though, because I think that every card in the game's unique.
No.
Well, every bird, I think it might be unique, but the things on the cards are different.
Did you see 2 copies of the same bird?
They're not entirely, well, no, not the same bird. But for example, there's a bird that lets you, get an extra worm.
Like its
And-
wind activated ability is the
Yeah.
same. I agree with that.
Yeah, and then there's another bird that also lets you do that. You know, they're not necessarily entirely different, every one of them, but they'd have different wingspans, they'd have different pictures, they'd have, different egg counts.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
only like
Very minor
10
differences.
special abilities.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a whole lot of special abilities.
That's what I'm saying. Sorry.
Yes, I agree. So it's okay. I mean, I would play it a few more times. I don't know if I'm gonna pick this up, but
Don't worry, I will.
That's
He's
fair.
already picking up. Yeah, I probably will pick it up as well.
I have a feeling they're gonna make an expansion that makes the different color eggs matter.
I'm sure.
Yes.
I mean, it just
Right
it's like
now, they don't matter.
foreshadowing
but-
right there.
right.
There's so many expansions they can do.
But
with
they
this.
look actually really nice as well.
Yeah,
On your board.
it is good
that
components.
they are different colors.
Yeah,
But they probably could have just made them all white.
they
And
could
it
have.
would have been
Well, but
pretty similar.
if they
It
got an
would not
expansion coming
look
out,
nearly as good though.
Right.
Right. It looks like a field manual the way it is. It's
Yeah.
really well done.
I predict that the expansion is going to make you put all the eggs in a bag, and then as you get eggs, you'll draw them out of the bag, and then you can spin those in normal ways, or you can also get rid of them for maybe enhancing actions based on the color.
Or you could just choose your eggs and the color matters.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool too. Yeah.
Yeah. But I can't wait for the expansions. I know they've already planned them, but the thing that they really need is they need other birds from other areas of the world. There's just too many birds that are North American birds.
Not enough.
I think that's the whole point of the expansions, right? They're going to do an area.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Can't wait for the European birds.
Nice.
Yep.
I lost that game because before I went in, I said, I'm only going to get European birds. And there just aren't very many.
Self-limiting.
For sure.
We played Copenhagen. Did you join us on that?
Yes.
Yes. Copenhagen is basically, what do you call it? Tetranominal building game, like the patchwork in Indian Summer and all that stuff.
New game by Queen Games. I think it's available in German, but not in the US just yet.
Yeah.
Pentomino, I think. Yeah.
Pentomino. Basically, you're just building a building by putting Tetris pieces on it. And if you complete rows or columns with all windows, you get bonus points. And the first person gets the 12 wins. It's got this cool like action thing where there's different colors out there and you pick two that are next to each other.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
the colors is not really actions.
Yeah, it's kind of like Ticket to Ride where you just have like a display and you grab cards and you spin those cards to buy a piece of that color of that size.
Oh yeah, there's different sizes. So yeah, polyomino. Yeah.
Right, polyomino is what he said. I think. Well, anyway, yeah. So if you want a 5-piece of green, you need 5 green cards.
And there was actually a little story that he told to you guys. I didn't get the story, but the story was.
I got a story.
Maybe you didn't. George, I think got the
We
story.
got the story. I can't remember it.
I can't remember it right now, but yeah.
That's some cute little story. I thought it was well done. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought it was really good. Yep. I'll pick this one up. Then Eric went and played Diamonds for the rest of the night.
No, not resting. It did go a while.
I guess not, because you come back and play. So we played 8 Minute Empire.
Yes.
That's a game I wanted to play for a long time. I could imagine me putting this in my cart like 15 times throughout all of board gaming. I'll buy it this time. Nope. It looks good. But it's pleasant. I don't think it's like massively replayable, but it's so short. It really is like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's so short that I think you could replay it without. It wouldn't bother me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
Pleasant.
I liked it. I made a comment, actually, when I posted it on Instagram, somebody commented and say the Legends version is much better because it has a little bit more depth with like the same length. Okay. So we played Lady and the Tiger, which I thought was all right. I mean, there's multiple, it's like a game system, abstract components.
I typically don't like those types of games where you're like, oh, you can play this in 5 different ways.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it might give you 5 different games, but they're all okay. Where I would rather have one game in the box that is good.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yep.
Most of the time on that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very pretty game though.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Great artwork, and it just seems like a cool abstract experience. Mm-hmm. And I believe just by when you're reading the rules, I think all the games are dramatically different.
Yes, and they sounded quite good.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's a bad one in there, but I haven't played them all either. So
right.
We played Labyrinth. I thought it was okay, but it ends up being like, it's okay.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't hate it, but I will probably never play it again. Just that version. I'll try the other games of it though. We played Chaos and Alchemy, which was interesting. Basically, you roll. You're trying. It's chaotic. Chaos is in the name,
right?
Yeah,
it's Munchkin.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
You literally just roll dice. There's a main die in the middle that says whatever the target number is. You got D6. You roll these dice. Every time you get a success, you basically get to play a card or activate a card, and you get an action basically.
It's slightly better than Munchkin.
It is.
That's not saying much.
You have to go into the game just thinking, heh. Like
things are going to happen.
Yeah, because you can really screw somebody over.
Losing friends.
Yeah. Yes, you only need 10 points, and then on one turn, I took away like 6 of George's or something.
Seriously.
That's awful.
Yeah. A lot to take that.
Yeah. So that was meh. But then we played Show Manager.
Yes.
You played that? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we played Show Manager. It's a Queen game, and Travis from Queen showed us how to play it. And this game was straight awesome.
Well, It desperately needs a reprint with better art,
That's fair.
with tolerable art.
It is kind of meh on the art department, but
It's dreadful.
it's
The game is fantastic.
oh yeah. You're trying to put on different musicals, and each musical has so many guys that it has to have, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kind of deal. What was it? A, B, C, D, E, F. I think
There's different numbers of them. So if there were 5 that you needed for a particular show, then it would be
yeah, I think the blue one you needed 6.
Or 6,
if
yeah.
I remember. Yeah, but you can only have like 2 cards above whatever the show limit is. So like if you're collecting cards on your turn, there's a tableau out, or there's a buy line out in front. So there's, I think, 4 on display. The far right space is free, but then it's 1, 2, 3,000. And so you're like, I'll spend 2,000 and wipe it and put 4 new guys out there. And then
money.
everybody else weeps.
Money is so tight.
Yeah, you don't get more money.
That is a desperate
Kinda.
decision during the game to do that.
Yes. And people are doing it left and right.
The only way you get more money is by spending your victory points.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's painful.
Yeah. So you're trying to get like guys, for instance, this person can be in the red or blue musical in position B or C, right? And the idea is each position they're worth, like maybe in the blue musical in position C is worth 6, but then if you put him in the red one, he's only worth 4. And the idea is when you build your, like when you either take a turn by buying a card or you put on a musical. And when you put on a musical, you put guys down. And so like, here's the
cast.
You put down the cast. So you're like A, B, C, D, E, and F. Bam. Here's my blue musical. And you tally up all the points of the blue position. And then that's how powerful the musical was, or how well it did.
Mm-hmm.
And you can decide which city you're going to put it on in. And the cities have payouts based on different
Position.
amounts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So some are high risk, high reward, and some are just you're going to get a straight amount of points, and it's everything in between. It's really, it's very tactical. It's very good.
Oh yeah, because Eric, like you can come by and put on the same musical in the city and have better points, and then push me down a rank. But that rank might take me from 22 points to 16, and then from 16 to 10, and then like if you go in the high risk, high reward category, it's just awesome. It was so good.
Really well done. And I think the players who had played that game quite a bit, I think they showed us the proper strategy for that game and showed that multiple plays definitely pay off in that one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah,
I worry about that a bit. If there's one sort of optimal strategy that they both were angling toward, and they both seem to be doing it, that both paid off at the end. If it's a one track sort of thing, there's a bit of worry there. Overall, the game was a terrific experience, though.
Well, lesson learned: you have to spend money to make money.
Well, yeah.
I chose.
No.
I chose.
Scared money don't make money.
Right.
Yeah, I chose to be frugal with my money, which I got some pretty decent positions, but then I got knocked down because people were spending to wipe the board and fish for higher
Just
point value
optimize
guys.
it.
Yeah, you got to optimize. And like you have to be not scared to detract one of your musicals in points to get that money, to spend it again to get more cards to make the other musicals better.
To go for the high risk ones.
Nah.
Oh, the thing I was going to say is you can only have 2 cards above it. So like, for instance, if the musical requires 4 cast, you can only have 6 cards. Once you
your
get the
hand.
7th, you can no longer do that musical. So if you're collecting cards too much, you have to put on the bigger musicals, which you may not have been preparing for. So you really have to plan and then have, because if you don't have, you can put on the musical, but if you don't have all the positions correct and you have like you have a blank position, you cannot score the bonus. And if you don't score the bonus, you did terrible.
You lost.
Yeah.
You lost that musical for sure.
Yeah.
That's the one you're going to take money from.
There's just so many desperate constraints in the game, but it flows very smoothly and it's very clear what you're doing. It's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
That's pretty much me. Then I left. Oh, well, we played the game. Sorry, I forgot about the
game.
the game.
Oh, y'all played
There's
the
only
game.
one.
The game.
The game.
He got it for being funny, apparently.
I got the game for free. I didn't even have to win a tournament or anything. I was at the registration.
Shots fired.
And this guy came up behind me and he said something. He said something that was like
Inappropriate.
something inappropriate. I won't repeat it because I can't remember it, but I responded to it just off the cuff. I don't remember what I said either. It was probably also inappropriate. And it made him laugh. And he said, "That was really funny. Give this guy a free game." Because he was one of the people who runs the show.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. And so if you're not familiar with it, it's basically there's 4 piles, 1, 100, and 100. It has 100 cards in the game. No one can speak, and you have to take turns by putting cards on the stacks, kind of like solitaire, except you can skip numbers. So the ones that start off at 100 have to be counted down, so you can put like 98, and then 92, and then 90. The ones that are 1, the 2 piles that are 1, have to go up. And you can go as far as you want, so if somebody puts like a 30 down, you're like, what did you just do?
Yeah, but one thing about that as well is you can always backtrack it by 10s.
Yeah, or raise it by 10. So you could, if there's a 16, you could put the 26, or you could put the 6.
Or you could,
if
it's
going
going up
or down,
you can do it as much as you want. But to bring it back, the better
to reverse
way,
the order
of
that pile.
Yeah,
you can do it in increments of 10.
So you can say, don't play on this one. Don't play this a card on this one. I have something.
That's the extent of the communication you can do.
The audience thought we would fail.
That's true.
Yeah.
We had 3 people watching us play.
We did probably communicate slightly more than what you should.
Yes.
But I don't think
Eric.
it was like
that was not me.
It was a combination of 3 people.
Yeah.
But we had an epic finish, and we finished the game, so I don't ever have to play it again.
Yeah, we played all the cards.
I'm just kidding, but I own the mind, so I can play this at any point.
Yeah.
I think I prefer the game over the mind.
I do. I would say yes. I agree with that.
Yeah. It's a game.
Yeah.
It is actually a game. Yeah. So
It's the game.
it was okay. I think I probably like it better with less than 5 people, maybe like 2 or 3.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to try it out.
I quite liked it with that many.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I didn't mind it with
But did you like it because we were slightly cheating and talking a little bit?
No, I hated that part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never mind then.
Play the game right.
Right.
There's
right.
no house
Play
rules
the
yet.
game.
That's right.
Play the game.
Yeah.
Stop talking. So Eric, go ahead. Talk about stuff.
Okay, so some other games I played is I joined up on a game of Dead of Winter. We didn't get to finish it because it was Sunday, and these are going to be out of order. But it kind of renewed my interest in breaking this one back out. I don't know how you guys feel of breaking it back out, but I liked it.
I never had a problem with the game. I just thought it was hard. It just beats you
was
down.
Really hard, but
It's okay.
yeah.
It's long. It's too long.
It is a little.
It is
long.
fairly long.
Yeah.
Because we
It's
played it
Too easy to sync the game as the trader.
as a trader. I felt that way too.
We've always said that.
So
If you're the trader, it's like, ching.
I win.
I'm the
Right.
trader.
Yes. Yeah. I could just sit back and let them fail.
Yeah,
Yes.
they'll do it for me.
Yeah.
I'll just wait till the very end and then eat all the food and
Yeah.
yeah.
So a couple times what we did is we just played it co-op. There's no trader
Okay.
as a house rule kind of
Yeah.
thing. Oh,
Well, actually, I think it is a variant.
is it a variant?
Yeah, I think
It is.
It's in the
Okay.
book. Yeah.
Cool. So I played another game called Kalimala. Anybody?
No.
No, it was pretty interesting. Matt wouldn't liked it because it was very bland on the. I think the box art was kind of bland as well. But the gameplay
You said I
was
wouldn't like it?
right.
Yeah.
It was even probably worse than Crusade as far as
The board.
the board.
Was it a mostly solitaire kind of Euro?
No, it was
Oh.
a worker placement kind of Euro where you're placing workers out. And you're putting them in stacks. And for every place that you're putting it in, you're doing 2 different actions. And there's all kinds of different actions. You know, you might be getting brick or wood, or you might be getting stone or making a statue. And it's you're trying to get to different places on the board because they're going to get scored. You're also putting workers down on top of other workers when it comes your turn. But everybody gets to do that action that's underneath of you. So you get to do that action.
Real
Yep.
quick,
Mm-hmm.
what is Kalimala? What's the point? What are you doing?
Oh, well, it's a worker placement type of game. It's basically...
I mean, what is a Kalimala? Like, what's the theme?
I don't know. You're a trader in the...
Trader in the Mediterranean?
Somewhat. It is... You're gathering up resources and you're trying to put cubes on different areas of the board.
Fascinating.
And yeah, so it's majority. Every place gets scored. You know, whoever has the most bricks at a certain time, and every time is going to be a little different because of the scoring situation. So whenever you have the 4th person that's doing a specific action is going to get kicked off, and then that specific item is going to get scored, whether it be whoever has the most people, or not people, silk in a specific region, or whoever has the most statues out. And there's, I don't know, there's like 15 different scoring aspects to the game. And every time someone gets kicked off of a action space, that next scoring is going to happen. So you know what's coming up, and you kind of have to prepare for that. Everybody gets a certain amount of action cubes or action disc. And if the game ends with everybody putting out their action disc, then the game ends. All the remainder items that haven't been scored get scored at the end of the game. So everything will be scored. It just, you kind of determine how fast they get scored.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was pretty interesting.
Did you find a way to break it?
Kind of. Although I didn't win. And if you can't do a specific action, you draw a card, and you are given a random action. Yeah. So what I did is I went to one specific action a lot. So I stacked on top of myself, which gives me, they might do something, you get 2 actions. Well, I go on one action, I stack on top of myself, now I'm getting 4 actions. I stack on top of myself, next time I'm getting 6 actions. But once you can't take, you have 4 spaces to get marble per se. If you can't do that action, you're drawn from this deck. And that's kind of good and bad, because it is providing you an action that you can use anytime later in the round, or this round, or in a future round. But if you're clogging your hand with some actions that you're never going to use, in which case that happened to me, like I needed specific things. I needed wood, but I wouldn't get, wood when I drew. So if you get the items that you want, it could be really good, because it gives you additional actions that other people aren't getting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we played a no, you weren't there. Game called Scrawl. Basically, it's Telestrations After Dark. You know how that goes.
I was there.
Oh yeah. So, Can of Squirms, which is a party game. You are put up with somebody that you don't, or you're supposed to be with somebody that you don't know all that well, or you're not married or whatever, because you're gonna go around, and it's a team-based game. So people are going to get a card. They're gonna say, hey, in a fight, who's gonna win, or there's dirtier ones.
Automatically sounds stupid.
There's a lot of dirtier ones.
Yeah. So it was, and it wasn't really, who's gonna win. It's, are they gonna agree or are they gonna disagree? So that could go in a lot of different ways. You're gonna decide, all right, he's gonna say him and he's gonna say himself or something. So they're gonna agree on somebody, or they're gonna disagree on somebody.
This sounds like it had some funny moments, but overall it was just garbage.
You're correct.
Yeah. but it did provide some funny moments.
It did. By the way, Kalimala is one of the guilds of Florence that they were into cloth making particularly.
Yes, you made silk or cloth in that game.
Yeah, well, that's what you were doing.
Okay.
By the way.
That's one of the things. One of the things. There's a lot of other stuff that you're making.
You were getting victory points. That's what you were making.
So every time, back on that game, every time you scored, whoever has the most in that section got 3 points. Whoever got the second most got 2 points, and then whoever had third most got a point. So it's kind of one of those types of games. We also played a Secret Hitler. That's the first time for myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I actually heard it's pretty decent.
Is it
That's
pretty good?
the first time I played it as well.
Yeah.
I didn't think so.
Oh, you didn't think it?
No.
Do you like Resistance?
Much better than that.
Oh, really? I liked it much better than Resistance.
What did you like about it?
A lot of similarities between the two. I mean, they're really similar on what you're kind of doing. I mean, you have a leader that's picking the person that's going to go on the, on the journey with them. Not journey, but that's picking the cards, basically. Yeah. So everybody else gets a Nai or Ja. Yes or no?
Nine
or
yeah.
Or yeah. Yeah. So I thought it was fairly good. George disagrees.
I don't see how it was any better or different, really.
I don't see the overhyped in it. I mean, it wasn't great, but I do like it better than Resistance, which I don't like Resistance all that much. So,
okay, I like it better than Resistance, but I don't like it better than Avalon. which is basically the Resistance with a theme.
Right.
And it did nothing that original to me at all.
No,
there was nothing to go on. There was just.
Yeah, it's just like the Resistance on. Oh, okay. He put out a bad card, or a.
Well, either way, they did send a copy of this to every member of Congress, so that's kind of neat.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Wow. So yeah, definitely.
That's really funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
They didn't have to.
Did they send one to the president?
I don't know, because I don't know if you can. I don't know. It might have been like the House of Representatives, is what it is.
That's not where I'm worried about the fascists being.
Yeah, well,
Although I am.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, we also played Bottle Imp.
Yes.
Which I enjoy that game. It's a
Me too.
trick-taking game where
They send it to every U.S. senator.
Oh, much
gotcha.
better. Much better.
Yeah.
So Bottle Imp is a trick-taking game where you have this bottle and it has a cool story, and I probably can't recollect the story as well as George. You kind of know the storyline.
I don't know if I'll recollect it that well, but it's Robert Louis Stevenson who wrote the story. And in the
It's a
story,
trick-taking game. What kind of story do you need?
Oh, it's a great story.
it's
actually.
based on
Yeah.
a fantastic story.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's an imp in a bottle that if you acquire it, then you can make all the wishes you like. However,
He's gonna make you rich.
he's going to make you rich. But if you possess the imp when you die, you go straight to hell. So you have to get rid of the imp. But every time that the imp is sold, ever, it has to be sold for a lesser price.
Matt,
And you paid for it.
I can't remember if you played this or not.
This game?
Yeah. It was at Gen Con when we were in the library, and Jason had it, and like I
That's
can't
the
remember if you
first time I
played
played
it
it.
or if at that point you were done,
You're sleeping.
because you were done.
Was Jason with us that time that I slept in the library?
Yeah. It was that night.
Man, this does sound familiar. What's it called?
It's
the
called
bottle
Bottle
imp.
I can tell you if you.
I
played
did
it.
play it. I
Okay.
played it.
It's a 3-player trick-taking game, and
Yes.
it's really quite well done.
Oh,
You
three
can play
player?
it- You can play it 4.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so it is
Mostly 3-player. It's best 3-player.
Yeah. So the imp, the bottle imp starts at a price of 19.
I won. This
Yeah.
game's great. I like this one.
So,
No, I was kidding.
so basically, the trump in this game is
You played it, Matt.
the
I
highest
did. I
card
thought I did.
played.
He's saying you
Under.
lost, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's okay. Anyway, maybe speed up the explanations.
Yeah.
Just in essence of time.
Sure. Another game is Hanamakoji.
Is that the 2-player?
That is a 2-player.
It's a really good 2-player.
Oh, it's awesome.
Did you
Yeah.
two play it?
No, but
No.
I've played it and I love it.
Yes.
That, you know what? How many times I brought that up on Tabletop Simulator? Because I was going to
really?
read it so we could play it.
No, it is an awesome game. So
It's gorgeous.
it gives you these aspects in the game where you have to give cards to your opponent. So, yes, it's really tough. Like,
Such a
I'm going to
small
put out
game.
3. Right.
And
It is
so
only
Like,
many
I
good
really like
decisions.
this one, and this one's
Well-
okay, but if he gets it.
Yeah.
right. So there's like ones where you have to play. You put out 3 cards. Your opponent gets one of them, and they get the first choice, but you get the other 2. Or you play a card, and you're putting 2 sets of cards out, and your opponent gets to pick the first set,
That sounds
and you
awesome.
get the remainder set.
It's intensely tight. It's
These
fantastic.
cards are pretty.
Oh, and they're so gorgeous.
It's
yeah.
Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do have a new set out or a new game out where instead of the geisha girls, it's guys. And,
Really?
And there's a name for it, but it doesn't come to mind just yet. Yeah. And then we also played Coco, which is a
Coco.
yeah, another trick-taking game. But you're on this game. You're it's very fantastic looking. You're basically doing bets and playing the cards of your neighbor.
Fantastic looking because you're peacocks.
It's like a trick-taking game with a Hanabi element.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then I played a lot of tournaments. Dimension, which I came in 3rd. I got to the final table.
Dimension Tournament?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mhm.
I like that game.
I love that game.
The game's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
I like it too. I
Dimensions.
suck at it so bad.
It's a real-time
If
game
we ever
where-
did a top 5 games you like but are terrible at,
That would be it.
it would be on that list.
That is the weakest of the trilogy by that particular game designer.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yes, he has also Uluru, which has also been made into Pelican Bay, same game.
Mm.
And that one has a subtitle. You would hate it. Uluru, the tumult at Ayers Rock. Anyway,
amazing.
That one is very similar, where you have a bunch of cards and you have to sort of follow all their dictates, but it breaks your brain. And that one is lesser to a game called Zalapa, Xalapa, Zalapa. And that one can really get difficult.
Well, I see why Dimension's the more known one.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. It gets worse from there.
Yes, but it's the easiest. It's definitely the easiest of the three.
That's fair.
Wow. Also, New York Slice, which I am the now state champion of New York Slice.
You're the state champion of several things after this tournament.
Yeah.
Nevermore, which the 3-time state champion, 17, 18, 19.
Three-peat.
Yeah, 3-peat.
It's a dynasty.
Yeah. Played Pyramid Poker. It was me and Sean at the final table. Sean won out on that one, so we'll.
Well done to Sean.
Yeah, and then also played Sagrada, which that was a first for me. It is a lot like Role Player, but
yes.
I don't know. I do like it a lot. I don't know if
pretty.
I would maybe like it more.
Is it worth owning both?
I don't know. Probably not. You're kind of doing the same things.
Yeah.
But
I definitely prefer the
different.
theme in Sagrada.
yeah.
You never played Dungeons and Dragons when you were younger, did you?
No, I did, but
really?
I can get far more people to play Sagrada than I can to play a game that looks like Role Player.
Role Player. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess that depends on the people you know.
My grandma.
That's fair.
That's
You can
the
get.
only person you know.
I think you're saying you can get the people that
That's not
you game with. To
I
play
can get non-gamers
Yeah.
to play
Play
that game
Sagrada.
and have a fantastic time.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas I can get literally every single person I know to nostalgia out of their mind when they're
Yes.
playing Role Player.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can see that, but they have to be gamers.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Everyone you know is a gamer?
I mean, everybody I would play games with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because even if they weren't a gamer, I don't know if I would subject them to that type of game first. You would have to not be thinking as much. Like for instance, like my mom, she started playing games with us. There's no way I would have busted out something like Sagrada on the first time.
Well, no.
Later on, sure, but
Yeah.
at that point, I kind of figured she's already a casual gamer.
But it's not too advanced. It's sort of like Azul in that way. I think either one of those could be a game.
Oh, okay.
Gateway type of game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know
The
it's
expansion makes it a little more difficult, but I don't think you'd have to use that.
That's fair.
It was a newer game for me, but at the moment, I would give maybe a 1-up on Sagrada. I would rather have Sagrada over Role Player.
Blasphemy.
No, I'm with
All right,
him.
you know what?
2 votes.
We'll play that, and that is going to be
Into the pit.
Into the pit.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
It's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, it's a good shout.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
George, tell us what your experience was the first time.
Well, I'd have to say that at LexiCon, it's a fantastically friendly
Oh, yeah.
atmosphere.
That's
Definitely.
fair.
I had no problem meeting people, talking with people, being invited into games. People were seeking me out that I didn't even know, because they happened to play a game with me, and then later in the con, they're like, "Oh, let's play a game with that guy again," and they
Right.
actually sent someone to come chase me down. It's just very friendly, just a fantastic atmosphere, I have to say.
You didn't have a choice because Eric was tournament.
That's
yeah,
well, that's a good
sometimes,
point.
Yeah.
That's very true.
It's like, all right, George, play with these guys.
Was Diamonds the longest one?
Oh, no.
That was pretty long.
Kinda
A lot of them were long. You were
Yeah.
playing a lot of tournaments.
I was playing a lot of tournaments, and some go 2 or 3 hours. Yeah, which is the downside, but I mean, it is fun. I kind of like that aspect to it sometimes. I'm not saying that I would always do the tournament route, but to change it up sometimes and do the tournaments.
You
is
always
kinda...
did a tournament.
No.
This is like the only convention you do it at, though.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. And really, the nice thing about doing tournaments at this type of convention, you don't feel like you're missing out. Like maybe you feel like you're missing out on playing some of the play to wins, but what else are you really like playing tournaments at Gen Con's? Like I just wasted my life.
Right, yeah. I want to do
playing
that
my
Gen Con.
favorite game over this convention. Like that's literally like I love War Machine. I played like a 10-hour bout of it on one day, and I literally was upset. I had the greatest time ever and was upset.
Yeah, it's like,
Because
you
I'm
don't
like,
get to
I'm
do
missing
anything
out on
else.
Gen Con.
Gotcha.
yeah. I could play War Machine at home.
Right. Or I can go travel and play a steamroller event somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, because so much is happening at Gen Con. To always dedicate
so many
it.
directions.
Matt and I have had this conversation like 50 times, but
yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing is the free games. There's the play to win that are free games, but they couldn't have made a better impression on me just from handing me a game for making someone laugh to there was another time.
Or handing you a game for buying a ticket.
they hand you a game for buying a ticket. That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Bowling
Which
for
is
Zombies.
not every year, but yeah.
Bowling for Zombies.
Go
probably.
Goblin Go.
Nice.
Now you
I have the cost of the.
yeah.
It's actually
pared down.
Yeah.
So you get a free game for that, and then there was a table that was set up next to the registration at the library that had all these game pieces on it, and they were pieces that people had dropped and lost, and just they didn't know where they went. They were lost
home.
pieces, just a whole table of them. And I went over there and I was just identifying piece after piece, because I have a big game collection and I know what a lot of these pieces are. And several hours later, the lady from registration came up to me and tapped me on the shoulder and said, Jessie, very nice. She came up and said, you were such a help with finding these game pieces. We want to give you another game.
That's cool.
So I got another free game without playing tournaments or anything.
What'd they give you?
They gave me my choice, and I chose Okie Dokie.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
I'm thrilled. So I got the game and Okie Dokie 2 co-op limited communication card games. which I enjoy, but I probably wouldn't have sought them out and bought them on my own. So getting them for free was perfect. And then they had food and drink there. But I just want to give a shout out to Sierra, who gave us some wonderful
awesome.
sandwiches.
She brings out this tray with food. Sandwiches and
peppers that were
grapes
delicious.
They stayed there, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So she made it probably in the room and brought it down.
And she was an angel for doing that. So.
She was like, "Hey, is anybody want sandwiches?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's cool." And she brings out this thing. Everybody around's like the jealousy of the room.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
They were so good. Yeah.
This is like a VIP treatment. What?
Right.
So, was Popcorn staying there?
He was there. Yeah.
He was there. The popcorn guy.
Did you get it?
Good. Yes.
Because you're like, that seems expensive.
It seems expensive, but then you buy it and
then
you eat it.
You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Did they have a lot of the ridiculous vendors again?
The vendor area is lackluster.
Oh,
it always is. I mean,
okay.
They have yes.
Was Texas Bob there?
Yes.
Bob's Weekend Wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, there weren't very many vendors there, but for the size of the tournament, the fact that they had vendors at all was nice. Mm-hmm. And I did pick up a game there. I picked up Men at Work, the dexterity game that I'd been looking for, and so I was happy.
Yeah.
Sean also picked up a game.
Francis Drake.
Yeah, with the expansion for like
really?
$35.
Yeah, that's like a great price for that.
Yeah. So
Eagle Griffin was actually there.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the vendor area is getting a little bit better.
I will say it is better than
I mean, if
the only time I think there's only 1 year it was better, and honestly, it was when Half Price was there.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing, but Half Price Books was there, and they had a lot of games that were
they have
cheap.
cheap games.
Yeah, sometimes.
They have sales all the time in there.
Oh yeah. So I mean, they actually had some pretty decent stuff for a good amount of prices. I mean, they had stuff I would buy if I already didn't own it.
Yeah.
And so they were a fantastic vendor for that year, and they've never been back since. So it's made me sad. Like that, I looked forward to it the next year, and I was like, well, maybe they'll be back the next year after that. Nope. So maybe we could tell them to reach out to Half Price and be like,
come on in,
get in there, yeah, because it's a fantastic. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
one last thank you that I'd say is to the gentleman from Queen Games. Who was there?
Travis.
Yeah. He was nice enough to trade me the game Luxor, the new Luxor,
old Luxor
for the old Luxor.
Yeah.
So I was happy to do that. It's a different game. There's an older Luxor that's a different game,
right? It's
by
not...
Ravensburger.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have it with you or something?
I did, yeah.
Randomly? Oh, in your car?
No.
You went back and got it. And
I got it out of my car. I brought games in my car that I thought I might sell or trade.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then there wasn't really a place to sell or trade, so I've learned that happens at CincyCon in October. So I'm looking forward to that.
I thought they would do it again here at LexiCon, but they didn't.
Yeah, so looking forward to
like the consignment kind of area.
Yep.
Yeah.
They should do that. Why don't they do it?
I don't know. Yeah.
They own the other convention. That's weird that it's not got the same thing.
And it did fairly well. There was quite a lot of people that showed up, and at first there's a section.
Did you go to the CincyCon last year?
No, I haven't been. I can't wait to go this year.
Yeah, so
it's pretty legit. The convention center is really
very
nice.
Oh, I can't wait. And that's where I'll be taking the games to sell and trade.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was nice just to run into Travis, who happened to have Luxor for Luxor, and he was willing to do that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So at Cincinnati Con, they had a section where you can put your games up. Get post a note on it on how much you want for it, your number or whatever, and people could call you. But also they had a meetup time. 1:00 on Saturday. Everybody's gonna be up here. You just bring up all your games that you want to sell.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Overall, I'd say it was just overwhelmingly positive. I'll definitely be back.
Cool.
Yeah, really good convention. I'm sad that I couldn't go all 3 days, but I have a newborn, so makes sense.
Yeah.
Does Louisville have a convention?
Not yet.
Nope.
MeepleCore convention.
Like that.
MeepleCore, MeepleCon.
Okay.
I was already on MeepleCon.
Is there?
Well, you can talk to Eric about that. Moving on.
Patreon goal. I'm just kidding.
What is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
If we raise so much money.
yeah. Kickstarter.
There we go.